Thank you for watching the Uganda Catholic Television. It is April 8th, 2025. My name is Sande Gloria Abot, and I'm here to bring you up to speed the news that have made headlines this evening. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has reaffirmed his government's dedication to advancing science, technology and innovation as key drivers for self-reliant and a sustainable future, while launching the 2025 Makerere University Research and Innovation Exhibition Week. President Museveni emphasized the critical role of technological advancements in national development and pledged increased financial support for scientists.
Earlier today, the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni officially launched the Makerere University Research and Innovation Exhibition Week. The event showcases innovative projects by students and innovators who are supported by the Makerere Research and Innovation Fund, highlighting solutions that drive socio-economic transformation, address societal challenges, and promote sustainable economic growth.
We decided to make an organic fertilizer due to the high increased rate of people had started getting it. So we are the students of Makerere College School. We decided to come up with an organic fertilizer, whereby we use this water height.
The bricklaying robot, Gio Chekola, very highly computer aided. Or design yo, no jiteka mweno machine. Then laying a brick.
Samples here, they already degraded. These were made from rice husk, and these bioplastics were made from these grass weeds.
The Vice Chancellor of Makerere University, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, urged the government to extend more financial support to research and innovation to match with the students' passion in the sector.
Request that amount of money is given to us every year. As you have seen, there is a fire among our students and members of staff. They are passionate about what they are doing. They have responded to your call for Africans to wake up. And indeed, I believe you have seen that we have woken up.
It is stated that we should create an integrated and self-sustaining national economy. In my view, this exhibition is laying out very relevant innovations and discoveries by our own people, the children of Uganda.
The State Minister for Primary Education, Joyce Moriku Kaduchu, who was representing the Minister for Education and Sports, advised the students to harness their passion for innovation and make use of the available resources to shape their future, emphasizing the government's commitment to supporting them.
This is your moment. The future of Uganda lies in your hands. Let your creativity and passion fuel the next generation of innovations that will define our country's progress. Government of Uganda will continue under the Ministry of Education and Sports to support platforms like Makerere University Research and Innovation Fund.
In response, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni stated that the current allocation of 30 billion Uganda shillings to Makerere Research and Innovation Fund should be taken as a sample test, and reiterated the government's commitment to dedicating more financial resources to research and innovation in order to preserve and promote sustainable economic development. He also revealed his directive to allocate 70% of government sponsorship grants to science students in public universities as a way of reinforcing his support for the science and innovation sector.
The argument I had with some people, why do you pay scientists a bit better before you pay the others? And even earlier, I had directed that government sponsorships at the universities, 70% of it should go to science students. This is not because arts people are not important. They're important. But we need to survive.
The Democratic Party has strongly criticized a recent directive by the Electoral Commission requiring Secretary Generals of political parties to appoint representatives to vet and endorse aspiring candidates. Speaking to journalists at the party offices on Balintuma Road, the DP party spokesperson Opio Okoler described the directive as impractical and potentially divisive, warning that it could spark internal conflicts within political parties. Now the criticism follows a letter from the Electoral Commission instructing party secretary generals to designate individuals responsible for endorsing candidates ahead of the elections.
The Electoral Commission recently sent a letter addressed to the office of the Secretary General. And I think this letter is addressed to all Secretary Generals of political parties that we have. The letter succinctly states that the Secretary General and the political party should appoint a person who shall be responsible for approving the aspiring candidates of that particular political party in the Electoral Commission. Meaning that the political parties are supposed to appoint someone and send that name to the Electoral Commission such that for purposes of authenticity, that person signs or endorses on the nomination forms to prove to the Electoral Commission that indeed the political party in question has agreed that this person be sponsored by that political party on a particular position. Now, to me, I find that this is quixotic because we all know that the custodians of information, the custodians of party properties are the Secretary Generals, at least for Democratic Party. It's the Secretary General that is the custodian of information. And the Secretary General's office is responsible for running day-to-day activities. I do not know why the Electoral Commission provides for that chance, because at the end of the day, another person would be endorsed to carry out that task. Why would we go there? And yet we have Secretary Generals that are voted by the delegates that are trusted by the party to carry out such activities. I find it being so quixotic, and it may bring issues, serious problems.
Kampala Capital City Authority is advocating for the expedited enactment of the Green Infrastructure Ordinance to preserve and expand the city's green spaces. The call was made by KCCA's Director of Physical Planning, Vincent Bidibona, during the launch of a tree planting campaign at Mulago National Referral Hospital, one of the authority's initiatives aimed at enhancing urban green cover. Dr. Rosemary Byanyima, the Executive Director of Mulago Hospital, highlighted the importance of trees in improving air quality for patients and providing a healthy, or rather healing, natural environment within the hospital premises.
Take ordinance mu authority ordinance kitegeza etteeka erya site eyo kwegamba liva mu site eyo yennyini yeerikolako liyisibwa authority council. Kati lino lye tuteekateeka tukyalyogerako ne solicitor general, tetunalimaliriza naye bwe tulimaliriza lye tugenda okukozesa okulaba nga tufuna emiti egimala mu kibuga, tufuna greenery, tufuna kwegamba emiti, kanjogere ku miti. Example kyenyinza okuweereza etteeka ligenda tugamba nti bw'oba ozimba bw'oleete plan yo ewaffe ng'oyagala tugiyise tugenda kutunuulira puloti yo yenkanawa. Etteeka ligamba puloti bw'eba yenkana bweti olina okubeerako n'emiti enamba bweti. Ogirina nti ye awo nga tuyisa, bw'oba togirina nga tukuwa advice ddayo otereze bwoti ne bwoti tusobole okufuna emiti egimala mu kibuga. Ate bw'oba ogenda kutema omuti era tulina kiba kituyamba okulaba nga tukuwangula nti bw'oba ogenda kutema omuti gumu olina okusimba emiti bwe giti, ate emiti type bweti, not just muti gwonna. Bw'oba ogenda kuzimba kalina nga wagenda kubeerawo amaka nga 10, ate gwe olina okusimba emiti mingi okusinga ono ow'akayumba kamu nga mugenda kubeeramu abantu batono. So kijja kisinziira kiki kyozimba.
Mulago National Referral Hospital has launched tree planting on its campus. Mulago Hospital and the other institutions sit on an acreage of 75. And over the years, as we develop more institutions on the hill, we keep cutting trees. So we realize that we need to be more focused and plant more trees so that we can have more healthy and natural environment. You know, we treat patients, but we need to give them a good healing environment. It is nice for a patient who is taking medicines to walk through the trees, walk through the flowers, and also have a seat outside. That is a natural healing environment that we want to create. And we promise that each of our staff is going to plant a tree. And we shall put the name of the staff and also label the species someone has planted. That means each staff will be responsible for making sure that their tree grows. In case of any natural problem and the tree fails to grow, we ask that staff to replace. Unfortunately, we have partnered with Kampala Capital City Authority, which has mapped out and guided us on which plant species to put where. So we are working with them, and in case any plant fails, we replace. And we are committed as management to support our staff to make their trees grow.
You are watching UCTV News. That takes a break, and we'll be back with more stories.
UCTV, good news for all. Radio Purchase, the best value-based community radio in Eastern Africa, running 24/7 with professional staff and solar energy backup of up to 500 kilowatts peak. We rock the whole of northern Uganda and the world using 7 languages on 90.9 FM and 94.5 FM in Arua on Ediofe Hill, 99.7 FM at Moyo on Adua Hill, 101.4 FM at Fogod in Gulu, and online at www.radiopurchase.org or download the Radio Purchase app from Google Play Store and Apple Store. Radio Purchase, peace of Christ for all.
Welcome back. UCTV News continues as government has released 19.79 trillion Uganda shillings for the fourth quarter of the 2024-2025 financial year to facilitate wages, non-wage expenditures, development projects, and statutory obligations. This announcement was made by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Ramandan Agobi, who also clarified the amount paid to Umeme following the end of its concession on March 31st, 2025.
These limits which we have issued were derived from the quarterly work plans of the various MDAs, but also the procurement plans. So 2 key things informed the limits we have given, the work plans and the procurement plans. But also we took into consideration the projected resource inflows. As I always tell you, in Uganda, we run a cash budget. We spend money that we have. When we don't have it, we don't spend. Therefore, for this quarter, which is going to run from April to June, we have released a total of 19.79 trillion shillings. 19.79 trillion shillings. And this represents 25.6% of the revised budget. It also includes all those other expenditures we have brought on board in the course of the year in the form of supplementary, the umeme buyouts, and all of these other things we have been taking to Parliament. This 19.79 trillion is broken down as follows. 8.9 trillion is for wage, non-wage, and development projects, as I'm going to inform you in the highlights. Then 2.677 trillion is external financing, mainly for projects. 8.126 trillion is to cater for treasury operations, including debt and all those other obligations of the state. And 83.85 billion shillings is for the local revenue. The local governments are expecting to collect about 84 billion shillings this quarter. Is statutory obligations. We have released 1.993 trillion to cater for wages and salaries across government. All Ugandans working for government of Uganda must be paid their salary or wage. The money has been released. 288.75 billion is for pension and gratuity. For those who retired, but they worked for government, and those who have served their contracts, and they should be paid gratuity. We have provided the money. We have released 172.64 billion for Parliament to legislate laws and also guide the country in terms of those approvals we usually take there. Judicially, we have released the 58.23 billion shillings so that the lordships can give us justice across the country. We have released the 17.46 billion shillings to the Auditor General to continue doing his work, wonderful work he's doing, of following the money to ensure that it is spent in the right places.
And away from the international news stories, it is time for Today in History. And that's it for the Tuesday edition of UCTV News. I am Sunday Gloria Abuch.